Hey, everybody, and welcome to Push Positive Live at our non-scheduled time. We're going a little later today because I've been traveling for the last 3 days, and you can tell under the bags under my eyes, I've been exhausted. So I slept all day, I have terrible jet lag, but I wanted to come in here and talk to you because it's been a while. And today we're talking about how to be more organized. Okay, so the first thing is that you should write everything down. I carry one of these with me all the time, everywhere I go, a spiral notebook. When I think of anything, I write it down because if I rely on my memory, sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't. And owning 2 businesses and being a single mom, plus having a social life and things to do, it's hard to remember all the things that I have to do. And so the second I think of something, the very second that I think of something, I write it down. Now it's out of my head. I don't have to think of it. And sometimes I have a to-do list of 40 things. It's very hard to remember 40 things at one time. So carrying around a spiral notebook really helps me. Another thing I do is use Trello. It's an app on the phone. It's also on the computer, Trello.com. And when I first started, I was like, why do I need Trello? That's crazy. And now I have 90 different boards. Those are different categories of the things that I need to do. I can attach images, I can attach files, and I can color code things, and I can put pictures. So for business, it's amazing. I have a different board with each team member. So we have a communication stream there. And then I also have a different board for each business that I own. So like everything about my business, ideas of what's coming up in the future, things that I've had, like links to digital products and things like that, they're all in one place. My whole entire business kind of in a box is business in a board, in a Trello board. And it's very helpful. And then I also have a to-do list. So when I get an important email on my phone and I'm not by my computer, I screenshot it. And because I have the app on my phone, one of the things you can do, when you screenshot something, you can send it to your email, you can send it to someone in Messenger or in a text. I sent it to my Trello board, and it hits my to-do list, and I can even calculate when I want it done, and I can put in due dates, and then it alerts me, oh, this is due tomorrow, get on it. And it's really structured and keeps me organized. Good for life, personal life, and business life. Moving forward on that is scheduling and making deadlines. So if you know that you have a big project to do, or you need to make a gift for someone's birthday and it takes several days, you can piece in when you can do each part of that project over a long period of time and set deadlines for each little thing. But making schedules using calendars, so important. I have a personal calendar and a business calendar that sync up, and people book calls with me. If I know that I need to do something for my kids at the school, then I will put that in the calendar. It keeps me super organized and extremely structured, and I don't miss a beat. Except today when I overslept everything because I'm jet lagged. Another thing you can do to stay organized is to make backups of everything so that if your computer crashes or anything else unfortunate, your phone, you lose all your contacts or whatever, this is a perfect way to have a backup, not freak out, not feel stressed. You just back it up. I back up my entire computer every couple weeks on an external hard drive, and you're good to go. Kokus, no, my dog is going crazy. Declutter, this is a good one, especially for me because my house is cluttered. I have a lot of stuff, I have a lot of people in my house, and it's good to just go through everything and declutter periodically. My car, I don't know what it is about having kids, but it's a mess. My car is a mess. Plus, I travel from appointment to drop kids off at school, to go grocery shopping all over town. And my car becomes my office sometimes and my desk, and I keep stuff there, and it's crowded. So every other week, on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, on the weekend, I try to declutter. I try to clean it out and start fresh and new. And it's very good for you to declutter everything in your life, because it actually makes you feel lighter. It makes you feel like you have less stress. It makes you feel like, you're starting fresh and new again and again and again. So just take some time to declutter. Sometimes when my life is very hectic, it takes 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks. Sometimes when my life is less hectic, it's 1 week instead of 2. But I try to keep it around 2 weeks because it's hard to work efficiently or live efficiently when you are cluttered. I clean off my desk periodically. And that isn't to say I'm not this creative spirit where I have stuff everywhere, because I do. It's organized stuff. I have piles of things. I know what goes in each pile. But it's good to clean things out, go through the receipts in your wallet, throw those away, and just declutter. Another thing to keep organized is to delegate. And I teach delegation in my businesses and to my team. You can't do everything. So what you're not good at, your weaknesses, or what you have no time to take care of, delegate it out. Hire other people to do it. Everything is either time or money. So if you don't have the money, you're going to put in the time. But there comes a point where you don't have enough time. Kokus? No. There comes a point where you don't have enough time, and so you do need to use money. And that's going to save you time. So if you delegate out things like maybe grocery shopping, if you can do like ClickList or Amazon or whatever it is to get that off your plate, or you need to be in 2 places at once, you can't watch your kids, you can delegate by having a babysitter. Or if you have a lot of work to do and you can't complete it all, pass on some of those projects to someone who can complete it all, and that will buy back your time. And then, of course, you'll make more money because you have more time. Delegation. And the next thing is to have a money management app. This will keep you very organized with your finances. There's stuff like Mint. I've never used it, or Quicken. I personally have a Google spreadsheet. It's like an Excel spreadsheet, and I manage all my money in that spreadsheet. So there are free options and there are paid options, but just having some sort of money management app, or even if your bank has an app and that helps you manage your money, do that. But stay organized financially as well. Another thing to stay organized is not to procrastinate. That's a hard one. A lot of people like to procrastinate. If they know they have a lot of stuff going on, then they just put it all off to the next week or the next week or tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next week. But the truth is that if you have a lot to do those hardest things first. Do those biggest projects first. And then all that's left are tiny little things. But if you procrastinate that big project, it is hanging over your head forever. And then you do all these tiny little things, but you still have this really big thing. So instead of procrastinating, draw your focus to that big project, that thing that you really don't want to tackle, and tackle it first. You'll feel so much better. It's out of the way. And then from there, you can work on the little projects or little tasks or to-do lists that you have, but don't procrastinate. It really will kill your time and create a lot of stress. And when you have a lot of stress, you are less productive. As far as passwords go online, I use LastPass, but you need to have some sort of password list. I mean, how many things do we have passwords to nowadays? Millions. How are you supposed to remember all that? And sometimes the passwords are different. Most of the times the passwords are different. You might have that base password, and then you're adding in like a 1 at the end, or an exclamation at the end, or a capital letter here. Each password has a different amount of like tricks that are required. And there's the cat. Hi, Henry. And I'm surrounded by all the dogs, all the pets. Now my dog's going crazy. Anyway, so you want to have a lot of different variations on your password, and that's confusing. So have a password list, save it somewhere safe. I use LastPass, L-A-S-T Pass. It's free service and it saves all of your passwords. And I use it a lot in my business because sometimes my team needs to know my passwords, and I can share an encrypted password to things through LastPass, and then they're able to sign in without even knowing the password. And I can revoke privileges. I can allow them to see the password or not. It's just a really good system to stay organized. Another thing, this is pretty obvious, but give everything a home in your house. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But just put like with like. All Tupperware goes together. It's not all over the house. All dirty clothes in one area. All your pens go in the pen jar. Things like that. And just try and keep up with it over time. And sometimes if you have a really chaotic week, you can't keep up with it. And then don't feel guilty and say, I'm a slob and I'm a mess and what am I doing with myself? Instead, every time you have spare time, I like to do it before bed. Maybe wash all the dishes in the sink or put something away, and just keep it as like a routine that you're finding a home for everything every day, at least one thing you're finding a home for. So it's this ongoing process and things don't build up. Another thing is to donate your things or throw away things before you bring anything else into your house. So when I go to festivals, I love getting free stuff like tissues and flags and little tchotchkes and things. But the truth is, I don't need all those things, right? So when I bring them into my house, I go through them, I sort through them. What do I need? What do I not need? Do I really need this? Sometimes I grab things just for my kids to have. But before I bring anything big into my house, I make sure that I have removed something of equal value from my house. So if I'm going to go sweater shopping and buy a bunch of new sweaters, I'm first going to go through my closet and take all those old sweaters that I haven't worn in 6 months or a year and donate them to someone else who needs them. Because if you're constantly bringing crap into your house and you're not taking anything out, then you're just piling up and cluttering yourself. So before you bring things in, try to clean things out. That's a good balance. You'll have kind of the same amount of stuff in your house. Synchronizing schedules. This is really good to stay organized. So a long time ago, I used to use an app called Cozy, C-O-Z-I. Each person in the family has a different color to color code the calendar, and you can put in everybody in your family's schedule. All the adults in the family, or I think even kids age 16 and up, can have access to the family calendar. So everyone can update their own schedules in their own colors, but it shows up on the master calendar and you can see where do I need to be and who do I need to be with. I have younger kids, so I need to know their schedules, but this works as far as personal and business. Now I use a few different calendars, some personal, some business, and it's a mishmash, but they're all very organized and they're all for different things. So my Google Calendar I use for my business. People book calls with me using Calendly, which is an awesome software, Calendly. And they book calls with me and it pops up onto my calendar. So I wake up in the morning and go, what do I have to do today? And I see all the people that booked my calls and I just do boom, boom, boom. That goes into my Google Calendar. In Google, you can also color code things. So I have a holiday calendar. I know when all the holidays are coming up, lunar holidays and solar holidays, and that can be synced as well. I also have a calendar for every teammate. I also use TeamUp. TeamUp is a great calendar, and I use that in my business to schedule out content. So I know which week is which theme. And that's all connected and color-coded for each of my clients. I have a different calendar for them, but you can turn all of them on at once and see how they all meet up together. So that's a way. And then the last thing I have for you to stay organized and kind of feel a little bit refreshed and decluttered from your life is to unsubscribe from emails that do not provide you value. So I send emails to my subscribers, which are jam-packed with value in both of my businesses. So those aren't the ones to unsubscribe from. But if there are emails that you have constantly receive and you do not open. Like maybe Bed Bath & Beyond sends a daily email, or Michael's, all these stores, or maybe it is someone that you're following, an influencer that you're following that you just never bought any of their products, you don't intend to, you don't care what they have to say, they don't provide any value, you opted in one time and you totally forgot about it, but you're still on their list. Then unsubscribe from them. Clean out your mailbox. And I subscribe to people's emails who I'm interested in what they have to offer. And if I still get value from their emails, I keep them on my list. But I continue receiving their emails. But after a while, if I don't, I just unsubscribe so that there's room for new things that I can subscribe to, new people's newsletters. So those are just a few tips that I have. And I feel like when you have an organized life, you can think clearer. You have the ability to move from one thing to the next more gracefully. You're not like crazy. We say in Yiddish, vermischt. You're just not like all over the place and scatterbrained. When you're organized and you're structured and you're disciplined and you create these systems and then stick to them, then you really know exactly where you need to be at what time. You get things done and you reach all your deadlines, you communicate with the people you're supposed to on time, and it really gives you a clearer way to move through life and a clearer thought pattern. And of course, like the first thing I said, when you write everything down, you no longer have to think of everything and feel like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. What do I have to do again? Instead, write it down. And then you can cross things off, which is the best feeling. I'm sure some of you out there like to write things down just so you can cross things off. Or when you go grocery shopping and you write like 10 things down, and then while you're grocery shopping, you remember an 11th thing, and you put it in your cart, and then you write it down anyway, just so you can cross it off. I do that. My kids do that. Maybe you do that too. So try and stay organized, and I hope you guys have a happy holiday if you celebrate Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time. Bye.